if someone had told me a few months ago that Donald Trump would be turning his back on the Canadian Prime Minister and would be about to hug the North Korean leader, I'd call that person crazy.
Yeah, look, maybe I'm not going to use the same word on TV right now, but I think if you look at the last couple of days and the setup, this makes for perfect TV. Much of the way that a lot of these things have played out since the day Trump took office, leading into a multilateral decision-making weekend, something that Trump stands, vehemently against. It's not very surprising that there was drama there, in my opinion. Neither you nor I were in the room, so we don't know what happened between Trump and Trudeau, but certainly it doesn't seem like any plan that has legs for the Canadian side, in my opinion. But if you think about how Trump wants to go into this real, this is one of the biggest events that's ever going to happen. And he's going to go in with his chest out, and he has this perfect stage of G7 into it, stands against the crowd, finds the consensus, has this ability to always step outside the consensus, look for some gain and some leverage, and walk onto a plane and come into this historic event. I mean, to me, it seems pretty well scripted.
Brad, when it comes to geopolitics, the market seems to have factored that in already. I mean, reactions so far have been muted. It doesn't matter where it goes. Is that a fair assumption?
Well, look, I think that certainly, when you talk about pricing things in, there's normally muted priced into the upside and always potential to the downside. So I would say that the real fear is that you get some nasty headline that comes out either tonight or tomorrow going into the meeting or while they're having the meeting and says, Navarro is pushing for a Libyan-type plan, which is a no-go for the North Koreans. So I would say that we must be careful how we talk about being priced in, because there's always a very negative downside to people thinking that they understand what's going on. Remember, the markets don't like uncertainty. They can price in a certain amount of certainty. Trump is the modern day uncertainty in any market. So who knows where he goes from here? I think he's sitting on a historic moment that he seems to be grasping and really focused on, and seems to be willing to give something up to get something. And that something is him doing, playing this reunification type trade and making a real major event out of the first year and a half of his presidency.
And he's gearing up towards the midterm. Should we look at it through that prism?
Without a doubt. I mean, this is, if you look at what he's getting right now, he's actually got this interesting play too as it relates to Xi, because there's no doubt that Xi played a vital role in getting this summit to happen and getting the two sides to really put on the table what they wanted. But in the face of Trump still jawboning about China trade, Xi doesn't really get to be the pioneer of this, because does he want to say to the Chinese people that he's the guy that got Trump his victory today? So I think there's a little bit of uncertainty of how this plays out with the way the construct was made up and what the real takeaway is. But this is exactly what the midterm elections are for, in Trump's opinion, which is that he's a hardliner on all these issues. He's not giving up, and everyone's just going to have to deal with it. And that doesn't play out internationally. But domestically, that's what he wants, and that's a huge boost for him going into the midterm.